Okay, today's video we're going to talk about bumper YouTube ads and how you can use them to make money. There's a pretty controversial title here. Subliminal brainwashing with your YouTube bumper ads can make you more money. It's not clickbait. I'm actually going to talk about subliminal messaging and advertising as it comes to and with using these bumper ads on YouTube, because with the 6-second time slot that YouTube and Google gives you to within and using this bumper ad format, a lot of the usefulness of it is, yes, you can use it as a hook to get people's attention, but you can also use it to get massive repetition of your core messaging so that people are forced to memorize your value proposition at your company. If somebody wants to lose weight and you use these bumper ads to say you will lose weight and then do it over and over and over again, assuming that person spends a reasonable amount of time on YouTube, now they're going to be forced to know it whether they like it or not. And that's what these bumper ads are great at, more than anything, I would say. But there's certainly other ways to use them to make money, getting legitimate new information across to the user, which can help you get new customers. Or you can use it to get a higher rate of customers that are already interested in potentially doing business with you, so that they do business with you at a much higher rate, which is more so the use that we use at our agency for clients to get the more sales results with their ads, given there's less ability to convey information there and it's a little less trackable, even though they're still trackable. Certainly, and I'm going to explain how they're trackable as well. So if you're wondering about bumper ads, to get those to work, this is going to be your basic tell-all information, so you know how to use them to make money at your company. Getting into the content, you may expect, or as you may expect, tons of people automatically click the skip button on YouTube ads, as you probably do when you see an ad comes up. You just are waiting for the counter to get down to nothing so you can click that damn skip button, right? This is about 60% or so of the people who see an ad are just never ever going to watch it, and they're just going to try to click that skip button every time as quick as they can. Bumper ads are your way around your target market that you know will buy, to get better penetration to that market, because they can't click the skip button. Of course, you got to be crafty in getting your message condensed down, which I'm going to give you examples how to do that. But it's your way around the people that will always click the skip button, and you normally needed them to not want to click the skip button to be able to get your value proposition across to that user so that they can know and then want to buy from you. So for the most part, new customer acquisition using bumper ads, it's not for that, because there's not enough information presented or that you can present in a bumper ad for most companies in order to use that usefully to get a new customer. A 30-second time slot would be much more useful to get somebody who's totally unaware of what you sell, aware enough to where they're going to leave YouTube and then buy, which is always the goal of a YouTube ad. Unless you're Oreo cookies and you just want to basically be top of mind so that when they go to the store and they decide if they're going to buy Oreo or Chips Ahoy, they end up buying Oreo, ultimately. So, but however, with remarketing, showing up, having ads show up for people after they've been to your site already and already in market for what you have and all that, the bumper ad format is fantastic, because the person already has a preconceived notion of what you offer and what the value proposition of it. Now, remarketing can just simply be used to hammer home through repetition the main selling points that you want them to know, so that when that day comes that they are going to buy, that they can't delay their decision anymore. Because ultimately what happens a lot of times is when they go to look at your stuff, they're not just looking at your stuff, they're looking at other competitors of yours' stuff as well. And they delay their purchase because they don't want to make a wrong decision. But there's a day, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, they can't delay their purchase anymore. They got to buy. Whoever followed up with them the most during that time, that window of time where they were so-called thinking it over, is the one who ends up buying. Because they have to remember that name, so they have to remember who to go back to. But also, whoever communicated with them, his message is going to be fresh in their mind and going to stick in their mind. And so that's why we'll run remarketing ads to every single, for every single client that we have, because it's going to double typically the productivity of any new traffic that you pay for that you drive into their site. And this is all based upon the power of sevens in marketing, which dictates that essentially you'll make more money advertising to fewer people more times than more people only once. Because people buy who they're familiar with, let alone other things. So what we'll do with these bumper ads as it tying this all together is we'll say something like, see our 5-star ratings on Google, and then have a brand name there. So people associate good reviews with our brand name. So when that day comes that they're going to buy from us, as I was explaining earlier about, they remember that. And then there'll be 3 or 4 or 5 other messages like that. The main things that we want them to make sure to at least have at minimum about us in their mind when they go to decide, that we'll put in separate bumper ads. So you don't try to squeeze too much in one ad, but of the 5 things that we want to make sure that they know, that we're the best quality, that we're the cheapest, we have great reviews, we have a free shipping, whatever it is, and put that into the bumper ads. Separate bumper ads, which will then trickle out for the user as they're making their decision, if you will. So, and because they're so damn cheap, like we're talking about a penny or less than a penny to have this ad show up for somebody that you perhaps paid $1, $5, $10, $20 to get to your site in the first place. That's just smart business right there. However, so that's a guaranteed way to make more money in your company using bumper ads. However, making money off of bumper ads to try to get new customers is a lot trickier. It's not impossible, but you got to know what you're doing. This is how we're doing it for actual clients to make money, or have in the past. The first way to go about doing this is you go with the so-called, what I call the bold statement. What is that one single thing that you could say to a prospect who doesn't know anything about you but would want the end result of what your product delivers that would get their attention right away? For a company that gets paid to get you to switch your power companies and who you're paying for your power from one company to another, which we have in the United States, we had a bumper ad that just simply said customers save $50 on power on their, wasn't exactly 50, but I'm giving you an example here. Customers save $50 on their power bill every month with, then the name of our client's business was here. What this does when you repeat it over and over and over, like 50, 100 times to the same person, eventually they're like, gosh, I have to know what it is that they're doing to save $50. And then they go Google that term, because there's no click-through, and then you got the person onto your site. When it costs a penny to have that ad show up, 50 times showing it to them to get them to go Google your name, it's still affordable. So that's a primary way how you get these bumper ads to work. Messaging. What's the message that's going to get into their skin so much that they have to Google you? Second example of this. We had a hair regrowth product that it has like lasers that shine on your scalp that will help you get your hair to regrow back if you're balding. We said a variation of this, customers regrow 56% of their hair with, insert the name of our client, LED light system. So people that want to regrow their hair want to know what the hell, this product actually works. And then they don't believe it at first, but when they hear it 50 times, it gets under their skin again and they'll go Google it eventually. that's the idea here. In this particular case with the hair regrowth product, your targeting would really have to be on point. It's not going to get around bad targeting, but if you got your targeting right and you got what they want to hear, that they would be really curious to hear right, this is an effective lead generation mechanism that can sell a lot of product, and it was in that particular case. So that's the bold statement way of using bumper ads to be able to make money with those bumper ads. The other way to make money with these bumper ads is to use what you already know about that prospect, because most products or services out there, they have multiple customer types. They buy, there's different use cases or reasons why people buy. If you're going to buy a mattress, for example, some people buy a new mattress because they want one that's better for the type of sleeper that they are. If they're a back sleeper, they want a mattress that's good for back sleepers because they think the mattress they have isn't good for back sleepers, and they had this mattress before which was better for sleeping on my back or whatever. There's certain people who buy mattresses because they don't like VOCs. Certain people that buy mattresses because they have a back pain problem. On and on. You can go and find out what these by asking your sales department or reading your reviews or your competitors' reviews, what are these main 5 or so ways that people ultimately buy, and you can target people on Google search or using Google Display Network or YouTube ads that have searched for that particular use case or problem before in the past. So what we would do for a mattress company, one of the main ways that people search and buy a mattress, in which our client excelled at, was they sold a mattress that was good for side sleepers. We would target the keyword mattresses for side sleepers on Google and try to sell to them the best we could. For the ones we couldn't sell, we would have a bumper ad that would show up on YouTube saying world's best mattress for side sleeping. So you can see where I'm going with this. What we know about the prospect, they don't want to just buy a mattress here, but they want to buy a certain type of mattress for a certain type of thing. We can laser target them enough to where they are eventually going to go search us up again or in general because they know we are the thing that they ultimately want. So we targeted people who searched for that in the past on Google and got to our site. So that's remarketing again. But what we also did with custom intent audiences with Google, you can simply say, hey Google, if anybody's searched for side sleeping mattresses in the recent past, I want to have my ads show up for that person. Banner ads or YouTube ads. Okay? Which is what we also did. So in that particular case, if they search for side sleeping mattresses, we have our bumper ad that says world's best mattress for side sleeping. That's a very powerful condensed message that can actually do better than a 30-second time slot talking about how our mattress is better for side sleepers, and will at least reach more people, because going back to what we were saying before, there's a certain, subset of people who never ever watch an ad and they click the skip button. And if you were waiting, of course on a 30-second video, you got to have a hook at the beginning so that it gets them to not want to click the skip button. Yes, you can do that, but still, it's not going to be as efficient as trying to condense down your message into a 5-second ad format, and going in with that, hitting them with that a few times, and then have a 30-second ad. Because at that point, once they've heard it's the world's best mattress for side sleeping 5, 10, 20, 50 times, and then they see another ad by your company come, they're more likely to not click the skip button than they were before. So in other words, the way that I call it priming the prospect. You prime them with the bumper ad that says your main value proposition there, knowing they care about that exact value proposition, because Google gives us the ability to target people by what they specifically care about and have Googled in the past. Hit them with the message, and then we follow up with the full 30-second slot that convinces them that this really is the best mattress for side sleeping, and here's why. So if they didn't go Google it on their own, the other video ad becomes more watchable, because we prime the pump with the bumper ad and the message that I gave you here. So that was a real use case study, if you will, where we used bumper ads. Another example where we used bumper ads before was when we sold toolboxes, expensive ones. And what we would do, it was the same thing with the mattress company. If somebody searched for a competitor toolbox, we would follow up and if they searched for XYZ toolbox, the Snap-on toolbox, then we would say, insert the name of our client, has 3 times thicker steel than Snap-on for 1/2 the price, which was basically an accurate statement in what we were actually able to deliver there. And we would have a little bumper ad that would say that, knowing that they've searched for that and clicked on our ad in the past. But we also did what we did with the mattress company, created a custom intent audience and told Google we want to target people who searched for Snap-on toolboxes in the past, so that even if they haven't got to our site, our little bumper ad here can show up and explain, hey, you were looking at Snap-on, we have 3 times better value than Snap-on. So you should Google us, essentially, even though we don't say Google us, which you, by the way, could say Google us. We haven't tried that yet. That's an interesting idea to try, but you have 6 seconds. It's going to be hard to squeeze that in there unless you had a really fast-talking voiceover there or script reader. But you get the general idea. And then also with that, we would also follow up with the 30-second slot video ad, so that ultimately, once they have heard the bumper ad, they're going to be more likely to see the 30-second video ad, versus if we had just the 30-second video ad, we wouldn't get near the penetration to that super high value audience. The main best thing that worked in that market to sell product were these competitor ads, because if they were looking for a Snap-on toolbox, we knew they had money. Okay, we knew that they're likely going to buy something. They weren't just tire kickers. And we wanted to get as much from those people as we can. This is where most people go wrong with their online marketing. Instead of, when people try to make a scalable ad strategy for their business, they always look for the next audience to target. Why not just take the audiences that work and just go super, super, super effing deep on those audiences? One way that you do that is you target those same people on as many platforms as you can. When somebody with Google's platform, if a keyword works, why aren't you hitting them up on YouTube with an ad when they've made, by search, what they made on Google's, what they've searched on Google, and get more out of that so-called search than you could just having your ad show up on Google for that. So that's another example of where we would use what we know of what they've searched for in the past to put together a custom bumper ad to be able to make money for that prospect, get them to start searching us. And because the tracking isn't, because there's no click-through on the bumper ads, and the tracking isn't evident, what you do to track the results is you do conversion lift testing. So you roll out, your bumper ad, and then you just see if your sales go up. Throw a reasonable sized budget at it. It has to be big enough to, bigger than like a 5-10% budget, overall budget increase. So if you're spending 10 grand a month now on ads, you can't spend $10,200 to do a conversion lift test. But if you could spend $12,000 a month on ads, okay, of the $12,000, that $2,000 is just the new bumper ads that you're testing. You can run that for 90 days and then compare your sales over the next 90 days to the previous 90 days sales, or let's say the previous year's sales during that same time period, which for some of you guys who are in highly seasonal businesses, that's what you got to do. But you can see if your overall sales revenue went up. And I know a lot of people don't like to so-called track things that way, but ultimately, if you're going to get to where you could scale up a big company with online ads, you got to be able to measure the effectiveness of ads that don't necessarily get an immediate action from the user, because most display ads don't. So that's though how you would track it and know that it works here. The other thing with bumper ads, by the way, that are reason why you use them over longer ads and in general, is because they're so cheap / inexpensive to produce. So you can come up with one 30-second spot that works for all your traffic sources, or you could use a bumper ad and come up with 5 to 10 bumper ads that can then hyper target these individual sub-segments of customers that you deal with, so that they all get a custom message. So you could create 10 bumper ads for the same cost as one 30-second ad. And in that case, like I said, based upon what they originally searched for on Google, you could target them so that, you know, going back to the mattress example, if they were looking for a side sleeping mattress, our bumper ad says perfect mattress for side sleepers. And if they search for back pain mattress, perfect mattress for back pain individuals, and so forth. Versus one ad that tries to target them all, because, you know, the old saying, trying to appeal to everybody means you appeal to nobody, and it can't be truer than in advertising. Advertising that works nowadays speaks to the user and makes them happy that they found your message. Almost nobody does that. If you do that in your market, you are going to crush it, because nobody does that. And you can make way more use of an eyeball in your space for somebody who's actually in market for your product or service, which means you could afford the most ads in your space. So anyway, you get the general gist of the cost element of these bumper ads being so cheap, and you can slam out tons of them for different types of customers that are searching for your product or in market for your product or service. That said, I mentioned that the bumper ads work better in combination with the longer format ads, because it'll make people open to seeing the longer format ads, even though the bumper ads can't communicate the same level of information. They work great in a pair. They prime the audience, the bumper ads prime the audience so they'll watch the big ad, even though but with the big ad, the long ad, the skippable ad, if it were on it, had to work on its own on that same audience, it wouldn't get the same level of adoption as if you didn't start out with the bumper ads for that same audience, if you will. And then, so it'll get more people to watch your longer ad, and effectively, I'm trying to think where I was going to go with this. It'll get people to watch your longer ad, so the bumper ads get the longer ads to work, whereas the bumper ads don't actually have the same quality information on it because it's shorter, so the longer ads get the bumper ads to work more effectively. So they go hand in hand, if you get my point. So in summary on this whole thing, you can do several bumper ads just to make the adoption rate of the traffic you're driving into your site work better by having, talking about your average review scores that you get on different places, the awards you've got, so people it's just drilled in their head to where they absolutely know that you're good quality. Once they've heard, whatever message that you would want. You could say, Corey Simon is the most handsome person on the planet. If you repeat that to somebody enough times, they're going to believe it. That's how subliminal, messaging works. It's not just saying something and through, their subconscious they absorb it. That ultimately, so that they're not. Subliminal messaging in a nutshell is trying to communicate something to them that they're not fully paying attention to, but it goes through to their subconscious memory anyway. But it's tied in with repetition to really make it effective. So whatever you wanted to know, that you're quicker, better, cheaper, whatever, you do that with your bumper ads to make sure that they know that about you, so that it becomes fact ultimately. The repetition of it, and because you're going to do that, and with the subliminal effect that it has on the user, it'll become fact for the user, so that when they go to buy, if they didn't think you were the most trusted before or the best rated, they'll now have to know it. So you do that to make your front end traffic work better, and then you can drive new traffic by targeting people with if you can boil down your value proposition to 5 to 10 words, you can do that and do it well. And also target people on a micro level, because you can slam these videos out relatively inexpensively, targeting people that are looking for your product or service for individual reasons, have bumper ads follow them up with talking to them on their individual level as to why they're looking for your product or service, getting their attention that way, and then following up with longer ads to get the rest of the selling points across so that they are, so they understand, the rest of why they should buy it, basically. Because if you say the world's best mattress for side sleeping enough times by itself, they're going to know whether you even back that claim up or not. But the full 30-second ad, I'm going to follow that message up in the bumper ad. So in other words, the bumper ad that says world's best mattress for side sleeping, I'm going to have a 30-second ad that shows up for that same prospect later that says we have the best side sleeping mattress because of all the research we've done in this, but also we have these awards, and the mattress is also good because it has low VOCs, and go into the rest of it. So, because people, they buy with, they justify with logic, they buy with emotion. So, people need a good reason. You got to get people emotionally involved in a purchase in order for them to buy it. They justify it with logic. There needs to be a logical reason to buy something, but they really buy on emotion. So the rest of, that longer version of the ad that you would follow up your bumper ad with, go into all the reasons why potentially the mattress is cool and it's trendy and all your friends are going to be envious of you. So you can make them buy on an emotional level. Then the logic side isn't even irrelevant, but will help justify, their purchase. And that's really what the master marketers are able to do. They they get across to you on an emotional level, and then they get you to feel like it's not a guilt. You make them not feel guilty for spending their money by giving a little bit of logic to justify it at the end. So I won't go into any more marketing psychology. You can research those things on your own, but that is pretty much everything I can tell you in a short period of time on bumper YouTube ads or bumper ads on YouTube. If you have any questions about anything I covered today, leave me a comment below. I'll get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. Beyond that, if you like the video, I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a like, as I spend a lot of time and effort to put the videos on this channel together as I do. And consider subscribing, as I have a ton of other content on this channel that'll help you make a pile of money advertising your products or services online, given it's coming straight from the source and from an ad manager who just does ad strategy all day long. I'm not a YouTuber or course seller or any of that nonsense. I just do ad strategy for clients, and I give you the stuff that I find in the course of doing the ad strategy of the money that we spend, or the clients spend, to figure out what works. I give you the working methods on this channel. Therefore, it's the best information you can truly find on YouTube. And if you like the channel, I also got a blog that you can also follow me on. It's guaranteedppc.com/blog. As well as you can follow me on my column on entrepreneur.com if you like my work there. If you are just looking for somebody to take this so-called work off your hands and just want to get your results, we offer a guaranteed PPC service at our firm. Nobody else does this. What it involves is, if you contact my agency at guaranteedppc.com, we'll give you a free analysis of what is possible to do with your brand and what you're trying to sell, your products and services and so forth. If we know we can get results, we'll offer you to get you the first bit of an increase in sales results on your accounts for free. No catch, other than you have to have something we know we can for sure knock out of the park. So, and therefore we don't work with just any client, but if you want to see if we can work together and get that free analysis anyway, reach out to my firm, guaranteedppc.com. I'll be happy to hear from you and speak with you on the topic. With that said as well, if you don't want an ad manager to work on your stuff per se and just manage your ads, we also have campaign templates that we've been offering to clients for the past few months now, where if we've gotten results in your industry already, you can take the templates we already developed that get results in your market, the campaign templates, ad templates, landing page templates, and you could literally copy and paste results in your advertising accounts that will get the same kind of results we are or have gotten in your market already. As long as there's no conflict of interest there, you're not in the same geographic territory as our client, of course you could use those results for yourself and cut out all the time and money and waste that ultimately was involved to get those results that we get today in that market. But ultimately get it for yourself without having to go through all that, that process yourself. It'll be way cheaper buying and with the one-time fee that we charge for our templates than what you would have to spend figuring out all the same stuff for yourself. If you reach out to my firm, I'll tell you what results we got in your market. If we've worked in your market, we've worked in 100+ markets already to this day, and what the, of course, cost would be to get those, to use the templates to get the results we're getting in your market. A lot of people, by the way, are using those templates we have to start other businesses. They're getting into e-commerce with them, or they're taking the leads and then having somebody else do the work and taking a cut of the revenue that comes in. There's different things I could tell you about if you reached out to me at my firm, what people are doing with these templates. If you want to get a more passive income business going for yourself, just the fact that you have the working ad templates means you have a profitable model that you can kick on for yourself on the side pretty much right away. Anyway, if you're interested in that, reach out to my firm, GarrettTPBC.com, for that as well. I'll close it up with that. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.